Welcome to Crotoni Entertainment. I'm Bree.
No, I'm not Chris.
You're not Chris?
I'm not Chris.
And baby, you can drive my car.
Wow.
So we're going to be painting a car from Marvel Crisis Protocol here. So we got this car, and you see there's a little bit of a blah on the hood there. Yeah, it dried a little bit weird. I'm wondering if either the kid touched it or there shouldn't have been a humidity bomb. When I spray them outside, I bring them into a well-ventilated inside area so they can cool without poisoning us all.
Yeah.
And that should help prevent humidity from affecting the primer, but something went wacky. Anyway, I primed
this. Really old paint can.
It could be. It is a pretty old paint can. So I primed this blue.
It's a blue car.
It's actually a blue gloss paint from Krylon. And now I'm painting every single one of these windows with this Vallejo Glacier Blue. And this is going to take multiple coats here. But we're not going to do most of those on camera. We're not going to ruin the fun for you. But we got this lemon yellow and we got this bloody red. And we're going to tackle the headlights and the taillights with these colors because we're doing comic book style. If you've been watching our Marvel Crisis Paintocol series, you know we're doing comic book style. It's bold colors. It's not a lot of highlights. It's a lot of forced shading, sort of comic booky.
Like more not metallic colors, but actually like...
Well, not truly non-metallic either, right, because no comic book drawing really tries to replicate metals with a metallic, with a non-metallic. They just kind of substitute in grays. And that's kind of what we're doing here. We're doing this. We want it to look like we're playing in a comic book when we play our games in Marvel Crisis Protocol. And I think we're doing a good job at it. I think the table's looking cooler and cooler with every piece we add.
It definitely is. It's super fun.
So I'm a big fan of it. But I used this blue primer because I didn't want to paint the car blue. I mean, I did. I didn't want to paint it blue. I actually wanted to paint it red. Julian wanted to paint it red, but I couldn't find my red spray paint. Turns out I took it to work.
Why did you take your red spray paint to work?
Knowing me, I was probably trying to mark something on a block wall.
And you went, I'm not going to use this color.
Exactly. But I used a gloss, which is irrelevant because I'm going to spray this off camera at the end. I spray these off camera with a Krylon 2X matte clear finish. So any of the excessive shininess of the blue is going to be pulled back in and toned down. So life is good on that front. But since we're doing a predominantly blue car, priming it blue, and the reason I did blue over red is I found the blue spray paint first. I mean, it could have been any color. I just found the blue spray paint first.
Ladies and gentlemen, never, ever deny the level of laziness that guides Chris's painting.
It's true. A lot of laziness guides I thought this was going to be a lazy paint job. It's not super long of a paint job, but I thought it was going to be lazy, and it was not. I ended up using way more colors than I expected because for some reason I forgot cars have more than just windshields.
Okay, wait.
I think like mentally I was like, it's spray the body blue and paint the windshields and the car's done, and that's not true.
Christopher.
Yes, dear.
You worked with cars for 6 years?
I did.
Like ran an automotive shop, saw cars.
I did.
At least 6 days a week, every week.
Correct.
And you forgot that they have more than one color on them.
Yes.
You're a pretty person. You know that?
I am. So I'm using my Vallejo Black. It's a Vallejo Black. This is the one that I think I complained about in other videos. I think I did on the Red Skull video. I said I think there might be something wrong with this black. I think the mixing medium may have separated. And I didn't throw that one away. I really should.
Didn't I get you a new one for Christmas?
You did. So I accidentally...
Oh, you're special.
So I accidentally used the wrong one here.
You're so special.
I did off camera for a second coat switch to the standard black.
Okay.
But basically, you'll notice I'm not painting every single thing right now, but I'm getting that area in between the wheel itself. There's the dogs running in the background.
Why?
I did that area in between the wheel itself, which would be like the brake rotor, the brake rotor area in there. I did the tires. I did the windshield wipers. And now I'm doing like really just strong artificial shadowing. And I actually was inspired for this, ironically, for Marvel Crisis painting by Batman. I looked up comic book car just to kind of see how they dealt with shading or if it was flat paneling in a lot of cases. And one of the first things that popped up was the panels from... Was it the early 80s or the 70s?
I think it was the 70s.
Where Jason Todd is first getting introduced to Batman and he steals the tires off the Batmobile. And I was looking at that panel and there was a lot of black lining just kind of applied along the side of the car to create shading. So I just went nuts and just did that all over the car and it looked ridiculous. But as I kept going and started adding in the other colors, like I took the Vallejo Dead White here,
Yep.
and I kind of highlighted that in, again, very similar to the way that comic panel was. So it's just kind of like liney streaks of color. I'm not actually following any contours here, which is very freeing. Because normally when you're painting a miniature, the 3D nature of the mini is guiding the colors.
Absolutely.
That's not happening here.
No, it seems very, it looks like kind of cathartic. It's very free-forming.
It was a lot of fun. And it looks ridiculous to me at this stage, but now that it's completed, actually I think it looks pretty cool. It still by itself looks a little ridiculous with all the black shading. You could probably do thinner lines or fewer ones. Like the ones in the Batman panel that I looked at are actually extremely thin. And just run kind of down the middle of the doors. I kind of went crazy and did like a diagonal over the whole thing. But we started lining these up next to some of our painted Marvel figures, and it looks awesome with them.
It's super fun.
It really does look awesome with them. So I'm a big fan.
I figured out, you know what that dent is?
What's that?
Right there on the front of that car? That's where Sabretooth threw Peter Parker onto that car.
That's true. We did have that happen in a game where Sabretooth just chucked Spider-Man at a car, as, like that'll happen.
Mm-hmm.
So you just kind of playing with colors. I just made sure the white streaks kind of went the same direction as the black streaks on any given area.
Right.
And then I took my black gray here, and I just kind of put some on. I didn't really follow the treads of the tires. Again, it's that comic book style. It's really easy to fall into a trap with a 3D mini of following every contour of the mini.
Yeah.
But the comic book style doesn't really do that. It's kind of broad strokes that create artificial layering. And on 3D, that can be a little weird, but it also works out pretty well. So then we went to our dark sea gray, and this is where we're going to do our metals here. So I painted all of the actual wheels themselves. And for those of you who use them interchangeably, like Bree said, and I'm looking for a brush right now.
Oh, is that what's happening right now? Okay. Yeah.
So for all of you who are not in the know, one of the most annoying things in running an auto shop was when people give us the incorrect names for things, not because we want to make fun of somebody for not knowing the names for things, but because it made it really, really hard to diagnose certain problems sometimes when people were pointing us in the wrong direction. So the actual piece of a car that the tire mounts to is called the wheel.
Yes.
The tire is called the tire.
Or hoops.
And the tire mounted on a wheel is the wheel assembly.
Yes.
And now somebody who has worked on cars is going to come on here and make the claim that I'm wrong, because the one thing I did learn working many years in the automotive industry is that
nobody agrees.
Nobody agrees, and depending on where you come from, you call things different names.
Yeah.
So we're using this gray on like the emblem. We're using this gray on the wheels. We're using this gray around the license plates. Just for example, side cutters. If those of you who haven't ever used side cutters, you might recognize one of these other names. They are large, they're effectively large shop scissors. They're almost like plier sized. They have blades. They're tapered on one end. They're more flat on the other. They're for cutting, things straight on one side and a little more tapered on the other. It's called a side cutter.
They call them snips.
It's also, they're also called snips, depending on where you're from. I have also heard them called dikes, and I'm sure there's probably an inappropriate reason for that. And if that is the case, don't call them that.
No, there is not. That actually is
I've also heard them called bladed pliers.
Wait, no, what?
Yep. Somebody who worked for me who came from Indiana originally called them bladed pliers, says that's what they always called them. And I'm like, that just seems weird. But it doesn't matter. So we're using our much lighter gray, our wolf gray, and we're just drawing streaks. We're doing streaks on the wheel assembly. And we're doing streaks, just this time I'm doing the streaks the opposite direction of the black lining. I don't know why. I don't know how light actually works.
Oh, you hurt my soul.
I just felt like this would look cool, and I think it does.
It does. Yeah.
So I did it because nothing matters. Nothing is on purpose. Everybody dies.
Come watch some TV.
Those
of you who know, you know.
You know. Break. We gotta take a minute break. We gotta break. No.
Oh. I love that show so much, but it still makes me feel bad about being a person who enjoys it.
TV shows that make you make you sad, make you feel bad about being a human being. It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia, Rick and Morty, and The League. We love all three of those shows, but every time we watch an episode, we feel like we've become a worse human being.
Well, like we immediately are like, okay, we need to either go donate to charity or go like clean up a park or do something.
So I did something there a second ago, and you didn't say anything about it. But briefly, my palette was in panel. I was thinking about squirting this black acrylic ink into a well of the palette so you could see it. And then I was like, why am I doing that? And I pushed it back out of the way because that's called editing.
Is that called editing, or is that Chris just being
that was editing in real time is what that was.
Wow.
So we've got the black acrylic ink, and all we're doing is blacklining the car at this point. Now, unlike the other figures, we're not creating shadows or anything. We've already done that with our other black paint. What we're doing now is literally where you see these panel lines on the car, we're just coloring them in black. And if your hand is not steady and it's a little thick, it doesn't matter. You can go a little bit outside these lines. It's fine. You see, I'm not taking a whole lot of effort into them. I'm just blacklining the car to create some depth and detail, going around the windows, going in all the panels, going around the headlights, and it's going to come out to a final product that looks a little bit something like this.
And remember, 3 Foot Fabulous. It looks great with all the other models painted this way from 3 feet up.
Oh, we got M616 for Marvel Earth 616 on the front license plate. I didn't show that on camera until now. And on the back, D2822. I'm not going to tell you guys what that means. I'd like you to figure it out. And the first person who figures it out, I don't know. I'm not really planning anything. But figure it out anyway.
It's your cookie.
It's pretty cool. We'll shout out the person who figures it out. Not that shout outs from us mean a dang thing. See, I didn't use language.
Diggity, dang,
Just say language. Anyway, we're done. Have a good night. Like and subscribe. Hit the bell button for notifications. Bye.
Bye.
Car.
It's a car.
It's Herbie.